So, to solve one of the biggest problems for self-driving cars, some researchers came up with a really wild idea. What if you could get one AI to build a perfect, custom virtual driving school to train another AI? Seriously. We're talking about an AI creating an entire universe from scratch, all to teach a car how to deal with our, chaotic reality. Let's dive in and see how they pulled it off. I mean, really think about that for a second. A self-driving car has to be ready for literally anything. A sudden downpour out of nowhere, a deer jumping across the road at midnight, some other driver just swerving for no reason. How in the world do you prepare it for the absolute infinite chaos of the real world?
Well, the old school way is to just drive. A lot, and I mean a lot. But that's a huge bottleneck. It's insanely expensive to have fleets of cars out there. It takes years, literally years, to get enough miles. And even then, what are the odds you'll run into every single rare but supercritical edge case that could cause a crash? You just can't. There's got to be a better way.
And that better way, it turns out, involves a team-up of two really powerful AIs. You can kind of think of them as the student driver and a driving instructor who can create any situation you can possibly imagine.
So first up, we have the driver AI. Now, the technical name is an end-to-end planner, which sounds complicated, but it's really just a fancy way of saying it's the car's brain. It takes in all the data from its cameras and sensors on one end, crunches the numbers, and then on the other end, it spits out one simple plan, the exact path the car needs to follow for the next few seconds.
And then you've got its teammate, the World Builder AI. This thing is basically a video generation model. You know those AIs that can create incredible images from just a text prompt? Well, this is like that, but for video. It's got this powerful imagination that can generate brand new, totally photorealistic driving videos. It can literally create a virtual world on demand.
Okay, so here's where it gets really, really clever. What happens when you put these two AIs together? The big idea wasn't just about making random videos. It was, what if that World Builder AI could become the ultimate driving instructor? What if it could create a perfectly tailored, infinitely adjustable, custom virtual driving school, just for the driver AI?
And they didn't just dream it up. They actually built a really elegant system to do it. The whole process is called Drive&Gen, and it's this fascinating loop of capturing reality and then twisting it to create the perfect test.
So here's how it works. Step 1. You just start with a video of a real car driving in the real world. Simple enough. Then, step 2, the World Builder AI creates a perfect synthetic copy of that exact same video. But here's where the magic really happens. Step 3, augment. The AI can now change that copy however it wants. It can make it rain, turn day into night, even add in new cars. And finally, step 4, you test. You show this brand new, altered video to the driver AI and you see exactly how it reacts. You can create 1,000 different versions of one single moment, all safe and sound inside the virtual world.
And the amount of control they have is just incredible. The World Builder can change almost anything. In an instant, it can take a sunny day and turn it into a downpour. It can shift from high noon to the middle of the night. It can even mess with the exact angle of the sun to create those really tricky shadows and glares. It can change the road itself or move other cars around. It's an infinite sandbox for testing.
Now, this all sounds amazing, right? But it brings up a super critical question. For any of this to actually be useful, the virtual world has to be believable. And not to us, it has to be believable to the driver AI. So the big question is, can the AI actually be fooled?
Let's put it this way. The simulation has to be realistic enough to count. If you show the driver AI a real video of a car making a turn, and then you show it a perfectly recreated fake video of that same turn, does the driver AI plan to do the exact same thing? If the answer is yes, then you know your simulation is a success.
To get a real scientific answer to that question, the researchers had to invent a whole new way to measure it. They call it the Behavior Permutation Test, or BPT for short. Its entire job is to figure out if a generated video is good enough to fool the driving AI into acting like it's seeing the real thing.
So how does this BPT test actually work? It's pretty clever. See, when the driver AI looks at a scene, it doesn't just come up with one single path. It actually generates a whole set of possible paths it might take, kind of like it's brainstorming. So the test is simple. It just compares the set of plans from the real video to the set of plans from the fake video and asks, are these two sets of possibilities statistically the same?
So, after running thousands and thousands of these comparisons, what was the score? The result that came back was 69.62%. Okay, so what does that number actually mean? Well, you can basically think of it as a pass rate. In almost 70% of the cases, the AI's driving plans were so similar between the real and the fake videos that the test couldn't tell them apart. And that is a huge success. It proves the virtual world is realistic enough to fool the AI, which makes it a really powerful and reliable place to run tests.
But this is about so much more than just finding a cool new way to test an AI. The real goal here, the whole point of all of this, is to use this tech to create smarter cars and ultimately much safer roads for all of us.
And here it is. This is the real payoff. This virtual driving school isn't just for giving the AI a final exam, it's for training. It's like a driving simulator on steroids. By having the driver AI practice on millions of these custom-made synthetic scenarios, it actually gets better at driving in the real world.
And you don't have to take my word for it. The data absolutely backs this up. This table shows the average error in the AI's plan 5 seconds down the road. And just remember, with error, lower is always better. So when it was trained only on real data, the error was about 0.74. But look what happens when you add the generated data into the training mix. That error rate drops. It's not a huge drop, but it's a clear, measurable improvement. Practice in the virtual world leads directly to better performance in the real world. And what's really powerful is where it gets better. The AI improves most in exactly the kinds of tricky situations it was trained on. So you can throw thousands of synthetic rainy scenarios at it, and guess what? Its performance in actual rain gets better. You train it on endless nighttime driving videos, and its ability to plan ahead in the dark improves. This is targeted training at its absolute finest.
So this whole thing leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to chew on. We've just seen an AI build a custom virtual universe just to teach another AI how to drive. It's an incredibly powerful learning loop. So, if an AI can build a driving school, what comes next? A virtual operating room for a surgical AI? A simulated stock market for a financial AI? The question isn't really if AI can learn anymore, it's what kind of perfect worlds are we going to build for them to learn in next?